Vienna, Reuters. OPEC edged closer on Thursday toward raising oil output, with Iran softening its opposition to an increase and Saudi Arabia warning of supply shortages and price rallies if production remains stable. A production rise of about 1 million barrels per day, BPD, or around 1% of global supply was emerging as a consensus for the group and its allies, OPEC sources told Reuters, adding that Iran could agree under certain conditions. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries meets on Friday to decide output policy amid calls from top consumers such as the United States, China, and India to cool down oil prices and support the world economy by producing more crude. Russia, which is not in OPEC, has proposed producers raise output by 1.5 million BPD. Saudi Energy Minister Khalid Al-Falih said on Thursday the world needed at least an extra 1 million BPD to avoid a shortage in the second half of 2018. OPEC and its allies have since last year been participating in a deal to cut output by 1.8 million BPD. The measure has helped rebalance the market in the past 18 months and lifted oil LCOC1 to around $73 per barrel from as low as $27 in 2016. For graphic on OPEC compliance in May, Reuters survey clickroute.r/2JR West Northwest 1. But unexpected outages in Venezuela, Libya, and Angola have effectively brought supply cuts to around 2.8 million BPD in recent months. Iran Euro trademark S output is also likely to fall in the second half of this year due to new U.S. sanctions. Iran, OPEC Euro trademark S third largest producer, has so far been the main barrier to a new deal as it said on Tuesday OPEC was unlikely to reach an agreement and should reject pressure from U.S. President Donald Trump to pump more oil. But on Wednesday, Iranian Oil Minister Bijan Zangina said OPEC members that had over-delivered on cuts in recent months should comply with agreed quotas. That would effectively mean a boost from producers such as Saudi Arabia that have voluntarily cut more deeply than planned. €1 or an increase is acceptable if justified from the demand side and if it is agreed by all OPEC members. An increase because of external pressure on OPEC is not acceptable, €1 said a source familiar with Iranian thinking. Ecuador said OPEC and its allies could agree to a compromise increase in output of around 0.5 to 0.6 million BPD. A market squeeze €1. Falih said the world could face a supply deficit of up to 1.8 million BPD in the second half of 2018 and that OPEC Euro trademark S responsibility was to address consumer Euro trademark worries. We want to prevent the shortage and the squeeze that we saw in 2007-2008, Falih said, referring to a time when oil rallied close to $150 per barrel. He said the exact mechanics of any increase would be decided among all OPEC members on Friday. 3 OPEC sources said ministers would debate on Thursday whether to raise supplies by 1 million BPD as the main proposal for the meetings of OPEC and its allies on Friday and Saturday. If the proposal were approved, all OPEC members and their non-OPEC allies could raise supplies pro rata, with Saudi Arabia adding about 0.25 to 0.3 million BPD. Iran had yet to agree to the proposal, the sources said. Iraq and Venezuela have also opposed a relaxation of production cuts, fearing a slump in prices. On Thursday, however, Iraqi Oil Minister Jabbar al-Luabi said, we are in comprehensive talks with all ministers, especially Saudi Arabia and Iran, and we are trying to narrow that gap between the two and we hope that this afternoon we will reach some sort of good compromise. For graphic on balance between global oil supply and demand clickroute.r/2MB4TH3. Zangina was due to attend a ministerial committee on Thursday. Iran is usually not part of the committee, which groups Russia, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Oman, Kuwait, Algeria, and Venezuela. Before the committee meeting, Zangina was also scheduled to meet Russian Energy Minister Alexander Novak for separate talks. Zangina told CNN on Wednesday that if OPEC returned to regular compliance, the real supply increase from the group would constitute around 460,000 BPD. OPEC sources said the final compromise also depended on whether OPEC agreed to mention U.S. sanctions in the Group Euro trademark S communique, an important point for Iran, which has blamed U.S. measures against Tehran for the recent rise in oil prices. The United States, which rivals Russia and Saudi Arabia for the position of world number one oil producer, is not participating in the current supply pact. For graphic on IEA estimates of non-OPEC supply growth in 2018, click rot.r/2rjanko. For graphic on IEA estimates of global oil demand growth, click rot.r/2x645v.